What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about some lovely Digimon TCG news. There's been a lot of news to talk about lately, and we got more news to talk about today, including our first news about an upcoming starter deck. Yeah, that sounds pretty gosh darn good to me. You see, a listing has appeared, and shout out to the lovely DTCG Review on Twitter for letting us know about this, about an upcoming starter deck featuring Beelzemon. Now, what we've got here is a release date of the 28th of October, and we know it's got Beelzemon in, and that's about it, honestly. But there are some things we can figure out here. I mean, first of all, we need to take a look at Beelzemon, because of course, Beelzemon's seen some love in the Digimon TCG. I think that's fair to say. I mean, we had Beelzemon back in BT2, including that amazing skill that lets you Digivolve from an Impmon directly up to a Beelzemon for a 4 cost. I mean, you had to have 10 or more cards in your trash, but I think it's fair to say that is not the most difficult requirement we've ever seen. It's a payable thing, ladies and gentlemen. We will be fine. And of course, we've seen that now all the way along. This has been something that people have played around with. It's not always been a top tier deck, but it has always been one that people have played around with and used and had fun with. And it's been that kind of deck, alright? It's been pretty gosh darn good. Then, of course, we got Beelzemon in EX2. When it was trashed from your deck, you could play an Impmon from your trash for free. And when Digivolving or attacking, you can trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete an opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. And for every 10 cards in your trash, you add 1 to the level of the Digimon you can delete. So if there's 20 cards in your trash, you could actually delete a level 5 Digimon, as an example. And then, of course, also in EX2, we got the Blast Mode Secret Rare. When it's trashed from your deck, delete an opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, bearing in mind purple do a lot of self-milling. And when Digivolving, you delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level, which is potentially absolutely brutal, either for taking out their best Digimon or taking out like half their field, or maybe if you're really lucky, their whole field. And then on your turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, you gain security attack +1. My point is, we've already got a bunch of options. When it comes to, well, this, we've got a whole bunch of options. Beelzemon is not something we've been particularly shy about, or, you know, the Digimon team have been shy about. It's been a Digimon that's had an awful lot of love. We've already had a couple different versions of it. One of them was Secret Rare. We've had a Secret Rare level 7. We've had things like Iron Mako, which, you know, if the attacking Digimon is Beelzemon, you can Digivolve into a Beelzemon Blast Mode from your trash for a cost of 3, which is clearly kind of ridiculous. So we've always had lots of love for Beelzemon in the card game. It's never been, you know, one of those shy retiring Digimon we've been desperately hoping we get another one of. It's always been the Digimon that's gotten a lot of love, and now that's happening again. And honestly, this is kind of cool. And this is the kind of thing we can get a little bit excited about. For anyone that's wondering in terms of where that puts us with the starter decks, obviously in English, we've just had starter decks 9 and 10. They are the Imperialdramon and the Mastermon starter decks. They're the last 2 that we actually had, the last 2 that, you know, actually got a release. Over in Japan, as I've just told you, these are, you know, these are now starter deck 14 we're looking at here. Now, do remember starter deck 11 was that Gamamon one that was all alternate arts, and we're not going to be getting them we're not going to be getting that as a starter deck. That is very important. But they are going to be in box toppers. That's box toppers for BT10 Cross Encounter when that launches over in English. So no, we're never actually getting, you know, starter deck 11 as an actual starter deck. But what we are going to be getting instead are the alternate art cards coming along in this way. And you can be happy about that or sad about that. It really doesn't matter. That's the way we're actually going to be getting it. Now, Japan did also then have Starter Deck 12, which was the Jesmon Starter Deck, and Starter Deck 13, which was the Ragnar Lordmon Starter Deck. They are currently listed on distributor websites for release in October. As it stands, and this is not official and is subject to change, they are due for release on the 14th of October, so we're going to be getting them at some point. Generally speaking, and this is, it's a good rule of thumb rather than a hard and fast rule, I think is a way to put it. But generally speaking, we should be expecting to get the starter decks in the same way as Japan does. The lone exception to that was Starter Deck 11, but Starter Deck 11 was a very cheap starter deck, which it was like 550 yen. It was like $4. It was absurdly cheap. But that came through with that Gamamon deck box, bunch of reprints, etc. That was kind of deliberate. So that was very much an outlier. When Starter Deck 14 comes along, you should expect it to be like all the others, or we get it just like Japan. So that's the news in terms of Starter Deck, and it's kind of exciting, honestly. Beelzemon, it seems like the kind of Digimon that should be having a starter deck. This seems cool. But the good news is we've also had some news about upcoming tournaments, and some news about some promos that we can be getting at the aforementioned upcoming tournaments. So at official Digimon card game store tournaments from late July until October, we are going to be getting official tournament pack volume 6. And usual deal here, it's a 1 card pack and there are 6 different cards that you can actually get in there. And these are alternate art cards that have appeared over in Tamer battle packs over in Japan in the past. So these are going to be available from late July until October. So in the tournament pack, you got the alternate art of Woodmon that came around in BT1. That is the blocker that when you are attacking, you lose 2 memory. Standard blocker, all good. I quite like it. It's not the best card ever, but I quite like the artwork. This one's kind of cool. We've got the Mega Kabuterimon from BT1, that when you're attacking, if your opponent has 2 or more suspended Digimon, you gain a memory, which is really rather nice. You've got the Doru Greymon coming along here. That is one that came around over in, I want to say, BT7. It's the only monocolor one we've had, so it kind of has to be. When Digivolving, you can place a black card with X antibody in its traits in your hand to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent effects from deleting it or reducing its power until the end of your opponent's next turn, giving it some nice protection. And then on your turn, while this Digimon has X antibody in its traits, it gains security attack +1, which is quite nice. We've then got Metal Greymon coming in. Come on, who doesn't love a little bit of the old Metal Greymon? This is the one that came around over in the starter deck. When this Digimon is blocked, gain free memory. It's fine, I suppose. It's not particularly stunning. It's fine. We've got the Zudamon from Starter Deck 2. That's the one where when Digivolving, you trash 2 cards at the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon, which is really rather nice. And then we've got Angel Woman coming in here as well. This is the one, I believe it's actually from Starter Deck 3, which is, a little bit of a blast from the past. Bunch of Starter Deck cards coming in. When Digivolving, if you've got free security or less, recovery +1. Always good to get a bit of recovery going on. We've then got the winners pack. Obviously, general rule is everyone who rocks up gets a tournament pack, and then the winner gets, shockingly enough, a winners pack with, more lovely alternate art cards. And I believe these all just appeared at some point over in Japan at their Tamer events and Tamer battle packs. And we've got when attacking, if this is attacking one of your opponent's Digimon, you get an extra 1,000 power. That's the minimum from BT3, which is really rather lovely. Maybe you should have said that earlier. We've got the Pitamon here, which is the only Pitamon we've seen so far, but it's a 1-cost to Digivolve blocker, and frankly, they're always good. Blocker is important, and 1-cost to Digivolve is good. Whack that all together. What do we get? We get a really nice card, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. We get a really rather nice card. We've then got the Myotismon coming in. Now, this is actually the one that came around in the EX set, EX1. On your turn, when this Digimon digivolves into a Digimon card with Motomon in its name in your hand, reduce the cost of the evolution by 1. And then on your turn, while this Digimon has Myotismon in its name, all of your Digimon with Retaliation can also attack your opponent's unsuspended level 4 or lower Digimon, which gets kind of annoying. And then we've got Dark Tyrannomon, which is again your 1 cost to Digivolve blocker. I should mention, of course, that these 1 cost to Digivolve blockers do lose 2 memory when you attack with them. Gutted, I suppose. This one's from starter deck 5, but it's still it's a 1 cost to Digivolve blocker. That's good. And I actually love the art on this Dark Tyrannomon. Of all the cards I've shown you in this video, that is clearly the coolest. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new tournament pack and winners pack for, well, over here. And there's a new starter deck coming that we should be getting a little bit excited about. Plus a lovely little review of which starter decks are coming and which Beelzemon options we've got. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about the Beelzemon starter deck. Tell me what you think about this tournament pack. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.